Good afternoon. It is Barbara, the East Coast Dragon Lady, coming to you with my weekly updates and weekly message. Wow, I don't know where to start with this week. It's been up and down. Lots of things have happened out in this wherever the Lionsgate happened is what I want to say, which I've also been drawn towards the divine feminine. And as I sat here this morning, thinking about what message was I going to bring from the dragons, they brought up family and the importance of family, and that's not just our biological family, that's the people that we're connected to as well. But what drew me to that was I also spoke at the Woo conference, which was over 3 days this week, and there will be replays up on Facebook soon, I believe. I will put a link to that on my Facebook page. And again, the soul and what the dragons have been teaching me through my oracle deck. So a plug for my oracle deck. I actually had an oracle deck that I channeled from the dragons, and I have these beautiful messages and cards that I put together as an oracle deck. I self-published, so if you're interested in that, you can email me at eastcoastdragonlady@gmail.com. But the thing that they did with me while I was doing the work to bring the messages in was to actually help me understand some things about my choices, why I came to this earth, and that soul piece is repeating for me. And one of the things that I've learned through the dragons is that until we can actually tap into our soul and then release those things that have kept us coming back or keep repeating within our soul, so deep in our soul, not just like, a lot of us, I've done a lot of work which I've done heart work, I've done shadow work, I've done inner child work, I've done all that stuff, and it still keeps coming up. So what they've guided me to is for us to be able to tap truly into our soul, but we need to have gone on that journey before we can do that. And that's opening our heart is the main ingredients, is what I'm hearing, is we need to open our hearts fully and accept that we've opened our hearts fully, because a lot of us open them and then close them again. Mine was extremely shut down. It's now open. Every now and again it tries to close, but I'm reminded to keep it open. But I've been able to tap into that generational trauma, what has happened that keeps me repeating these patterns. Where are those patterns? And it seems to be that it's deep in our soul. So a couple of days ago, I actually wrote on my Facebook page about Mother Dragon, which is part of the Divine Feminine group, and how they guided me to understand my lessons. You can find it on my Facebook page. I won't read it now because it chokes me up. But the 4 dragons that are in that group of the Divine Feminine, which I'm sure there could be many, but for me is the grandmother dragon, the mother dragon, the daughter dragon, and the sister dragon. And they're telling me, so what they've asked me to do, and you've heard me say this many times, is to write about them. So I've already started writing about Mother Dragon, so I will continue doing that and posting the things that are for everybody. Some of them are just for me, but there's a lot of things that are for everybody. So that is what they've asked me to do, is to go through my whole oracle deck, which is 32 cards, and to write about individual ones and why why now, why is this message come up, why is this needed out in the universe. So I guess I've got quite a task. In the Divine Feminine, again for me, was grandfather, father, brother, and son. And in there are many messages and lessons. The one thing I've learned is that we chose to come to this earth. We chose what lessons we wanted, and we're surprised. I was woken up to, especially around the mother energy, that the message I got was it was my choice. and I chose that I would come back to learn that particular lesson. And once we wake up to that, it doesn't seem quite so painful. It's like, oh, right. But there's a lot of layers to all of that. I am certainly open to discussing any of this with any of you. I'd love to hear your feedback. If you've got my Oracle deck, I'd love to hear how it's working for you. I've also been connecting back with the archangels and angels. I've been using the angel guide, which I used last week, from Kyle Gray. And the 3 cards that I asked for us, but I think they were really for me, is strength and guidance, self-acceptance that comes with, working with our soul, and inner child healing. And whenever that comes up, I'm always like, thought I've done that. But I think as I go through this work that they're asking me to do and bring these messages to you, that's going to help me move along, shift that inner child. I know there's inner child wounding, and sometimes we're a bit resistant to that. But the first one, strength and guidance, actually speaks to just what I've said. So again, this is Kyle Gray's Oracle deck, the Angel Guide, and this is what it says about strength and guidance. Don't underestimate the power of your soul. You are a strong and resilient soul with the capacity to rise above any challenge. Divine intervention is taking place at this time. Whatever is occurring in your life is providing a real learning curve for your soul. You are becoming more and more aware of what will lead you to fulfill your purpose and what will divert you from joy. Your angel guide is encouraging you to recognize that the feeling that you are coming to you now are guidance that will help you to understand the steps that you need to take and the moves that you need to make in order to be aligned with abundance and support. The angels are encouraging you to dig deep and hold your station. If you are wondering what the next step is, know that it will be revealed in due course. Don't change plans or your vision or your goals for anyone. This is not a time to take drastic action, but to remain committed and strong. Keep up the good work. The angels are encouraging you to recognize the power of your prayers and intentions at this time. Again, voice, whenever I start speaking my truth. And as I always say, I am not going to let that throat chakra. It's if you've caught me in any other of my videos, whenever I'm speaking the real truth, for me, it often affects my throat chakra, but I keep working on it. And that's really what that was saying. And I thought that was really the messages I've been getting about soul work and our soul purpose. And for all of us, I think if we spend time, whether it's with the dragons or the angels and archangels and dragons are a different vibration, but they're sort of 12th dimension. For me, they're very similar to work with. So I'm always excited when I've gone. That's where I sort of started, was archangels and angels, and then the dragons came in, and then the galactic dragons. And I talked about this on several occasions. I've talked about it, and the sky dragons, and there have been beautiful sky dragons around me this week. The skies have been interesting because, again, here on the East Coast, probably like most of the United States and I think Europe, we're having some like higher than normal temperatures, like tropical rainstorms. It's just a weird mixture of what we're getting, but it produces, where I live, I often get the storm dragons coming back from storms. We've had a few pretty good thunderstorms as well. And I know, seeing some things on Facebook across the United States, there have been some very powerful storms. So again, we send out our love to all of those who are affected by the floods. So I think that's all I have to say to you, other than I am still offering my Oracle deck for $25. I am planning on putting my prices up in the fall. I'm working on my Dragon Hour guests for next. So I took a couple of months off. So I'm starting back up in September. I'll be posting that list soon. If you would like to come on my Dragon Hour, it's an open hour for either us to have a discussion, for you to come and present what's going on with you, with your work with dragons, light language, any of that good stuff. Oh yeah, I've been getting light language downloads as well. And I've got a piece of art that I'm doing that is still a work in progress that is light language. I don't speak it, but I've been getting, I can actually write it. I think I talked about that the other day as well, where somebody said, how do we know what we're writing? So I said, oh, I'll ask the dragons. So they translate it for me if I want to know what it is. And I tend to write from right to left. So that's when I know it's light language. Instead of left to right, I'm writing it that way. And often with symbols as well, and sometimes images. So more to come on that. More to come on the divine feminine and the divine masculine and the messages the dragons want you to receive. So if you haven't, if you're not on my private Facebook page, which is where I post most of those daily messages, I would encourage you, go to my website, which is eastcoastdragonlady.com, and you can connect to my Facebook page from there, and you'll get into the group. Or you can friend me on Facebook, but then I have to send you an invite. So whichever way you want to do it. There was something else I was going to say. And of course, as always, I sit down to say something and I say something completely different. Yeah, so I hope everybody has a good week. Here we are in the second week in August. I think this has been the fastest, for me, this has been like the fastest year so far. I don't know where it's actually gone. Like you blink and it's the beginning of the month, you blink and it's the end of the month. So anyway, have a good rest of the week. Have a good upcoming week, and I'll be back next week. Thanks. Bye.